My special report, Seeing the Wood, was an effort to take the general reader on a tour of the world's forests, pausing especially on tropical forests, and in so doing answer three very important questions. Why are forests so important? What is the state of them? And given that the state of them is not great, how can we do a better job of managing them? The main reason that forests are cut down with such abandon is because their worth is not recognised. They are grossly undervalued by local people, by companies, and especially by governments who tend to control most forest land. And for future conservation efforts, there will have to, and some of those efforts are promising, some of them are partially successful, but all of them will have to start with a far more realistic effort to evaluate the worth of forests, great as it is. I was drawn to this topic, I suppose, in particular for a couple of reasons. First, my great love of forests and trees, a sense of how wonderful they are, how magical these ecosystems are, and I wanted to impart that to the greatest number of people. And for that purpose, I think it was very important that I got to travel in my reporting to a lot of wonderful and interesting and beautiful places, forests in Indonesia, in Brazil, in Uganda, in Mexico. So I had a lot of rich and diverse forests to describe for the reader. And the second thing, I think, is that this task of trying to explain what forests are and why they're important and why they're worth taking more care of is exceptionally timely because of their critical role in the climate change debate, and that role I felt is certainly not nearly as widely understood as it should be, and this presented an interesting and important journalistic challenge. I hope as many readers as possible will take away from this a sense of how interesting and important forests are. That's the key thing, and I hope they'll understand, therefore, how important it is that we do a much better job of looking after them. And I hope they'll appreciate that this is possible. They shouldn't turn away and think that the situation is hopeless. It isn't. The great challenge in this was to try to write something reasonably comprehensive about a vast topic, vast areas of climate science, forest economics, policy in a fairly small space. And additionally, the tremendous challenge was in trying to get my own small head around these vast and interesting and complicated topics. I'd had a lot of enthusiasm for forests and the wider climate change discussion for a long time, but not a great deal of expertise, not very much detailed knowledge. This was by far the biggest piece of work on an environmental topic that I'd undertaken. I've always had an interest in environmental themes, and I've written about natural resource issues in various countries, but this was clearly the biggest. I'd never considered myself an environmental reporter, writer beforehand, probably still don't, but I know that I will be writing an awful lot more on environmental issues, and undoubtedly winning this prize has been a tremendous fillip and encouragement to do so, and I'm very honoured to have won it, and I'm very grateful for it.